Test, test. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Hello, everyone. If I don't read a script, there's no telling what's going to come out of my mouth. Can I get an amen, Nona? Thank you so much for being here. First of all, I want to explain why the piano isn't center stage. Rick Alvarez, our wonderful sight and sound man, set up cameras on me. There's 3 cameras back there. So you can watch my hands. Wait a minute. So you can watch me while I'm playing. So I decided to spare Sonny. Do you know who Sonny is? That beautiful piano that will do anything I ask. I just love that man. The name, I decided to spare him the wear and tear that happens when you move a piano. And I decided to spare myself the cost. So, yeah, there it is. Now for the reasoning behind the theme, Second Chances. Oh, there's this. Each time I plan a concert, I choose my repertoire and begin practicing. But there are always pieces that I cut out for one reason or another. And wait a second, I'm losing my place. I have to read with my finger. Okay. And I will tell you why each piece was rejected, and then you can see if you agree. So I saved them from all the 10 concerts I've done. Yes, it has been 10 years since I began doing this. When Mama died 10 years ago, I wanted to give a concert in her honor, highlighting her daughter's talents. We called it the Sis-Trunk Sisters Show. Then along the way, Nika decided she wanted my concert. But I can't resist showcasing her art. All of the art I'm showing was done by her. I am her biggest fan. Nika, please stand up. She's also responsible for me looking so young. Nika decided, okay, but I can't resist, I'm so sorry. And you know she is available for commissions. I love the visual representation of this theme of second chances. Yes, and thank you, Kathy Benedict, for having the idea of the representation. Okay, now, switch to Fanny. There she is. I named her and her brother Felix and Fanny Mendelssohn. Well, Felix ran off, you know, as male cats do. But Fanny lived to 15 years, and when I lost her, I was so bummed out that Nika drew her, and I put her on my living room wall so that we could be together all the time, every day. So I am going to play a piece by Fanny Mendelssohn, and I am in love with Fanny Mendelssohn. We're going to go backwards in time. So last year's concert was Scary Music for a Scary Year. This piece was just not scary enough, and that's why it didn't make the cut. There is a good amount of anxiety in it, though. See if you can get off on that part. Fanny was as talented as her brother Felix, and maybe even more so. She could play all of the 24 preludes of Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier from memory at age 14. But since it was a patriarchal society, she was discouraged from a career as a musician and encouraged to stay home and be a proper wife and mother instead. She nevertheless composed 450 works in her lifetime. From the 1980s onward, there has been a resurgence of interest in her works. Here's her second chance. It's just y'all, your friends. This is the next concert that, going backwards, was 2023, and it was Tribes. Remember that concert? And this, Nika said, is new Tribes. She did another painting called Tribes, but this one includes the new kids, Ethan and James, my grandkids, and Nika's great-granddaughter, Aaliyah, and her adopted daughter, Kate. So when planning the Tribes concert, this wonderful piece by Naji Hakim arrived too late for me to do it justice. So I am very happy to share it now. Second chance, yeah, it's okay. Naji was born on Halloween in 1955. He is a Franco-Lebanese organist and composer. The only thing about his writing that he gives me mixed messages. I'm not sure he wants me to play. He has taken pains and put in many rests and staccatos and then put pedal markings. Well, what do you want, short or gushy? So I just decided I'm going to play it the way I'm going to play it. Since he's a contemporary composer, the metronome marking lets me know exactly how fast he wants it. Fanny's piece had no indications of tempo, not even allegro or andante or anything, no pedaling, no phrasing, no articulation. Each piece is so different in that regard. So here's Naji. Astor Piazzolla from my 75th birthday concert in 2022. This Impressionist flamenco dancer painting is titled Twirl. Here it comes any second. There she is. Astor was born in 1921 in Argentina He wrote his first tango at age 11. His family had moved to New York City, where he met one of the most important figures in the history of tango, Carlos Gardel. Astor was in Gardel's movie, so Carlos invited him to tour with his orchestra. Piazzolla was devastated when his father said he was too young, but the entire orchestra and Gardel were killed in a plane crash. Talk about a second chance there. In later years, Piazzolla jokingly made light of this fateful event by saying, had his father let him join the tour, he would be playing harp instead of bandoneon. Yeah. I have always loved Astor Piazzolla. So I was thrilled when a student gave me this piece from online. However, this is not one of his best works. I rejected it before because it's too long, and especially since it's just one sequence after another. And I don't believe his dynamic markings. They have to be just wrong. You get what you pay for. So I'm ignoring them. And I swear, I'm playing the notes for the most part correctly. It's just his right. They're not my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And it gets weirder and weirder at the end. And then I think he finally just gives up and throws an ending on it. So see what you think about this one. How's that? Oh. Oh, and now, here's a name, Ephraim Zimbalist. Does that ring a bell? Well, you probably know his son, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., an American actor, but the father, oh, wait. I want to talk about the art. And the art, this is from, I got this music from George Gregory. Music from George Gregory's garage, when he cleaned out his garage, and I got a whole stack of music. Thank you, George. And so Nika is presenting a picture of George Washington. That's another George. Now, this is, she said a shameless plug, but this is an opportunity to plug Nika's newest project. She will be drawing portraits of all the presidents, which will appear in an upcoming book exploring the surprising and human side of presidents. So watch for this future unveiling. Yay, Nika! Yay! Amazing. Isn't she amazing? Back to Ephraim Zimbalist. The father was born in Russia in 1889 and died in 1985 at the age of 95. He was considered one of the world's greatest violinists when he was 21 after winning the Rubinstein Prize. By the way, his granddaughter, Stephanie Zimbalist, is also an actress, and she was on Remington Steele, if that rings a bell. from his composition titled Impressions. That year, what year was that? 2021. I played his impression of Chopin on that concert, but this one was too hard to play. So please pray for me to have another chance. could have been so much worse. Okay, Lily. 2020, women composers, yay. Switch to this one. A more recent composer, women's composer. Do you recognize her? Janis Joplin, yes. Okay. I'm pleased to be playing music by 3 women composers. Yay! I was thinking that Lily Boulanger was the famous teacher of many important composers, soloists, and conductors, including Aaron Copland and Astor Piazzolla, Daniel Barenboim, and Quincy Jones. How about that? And over 250 others. So I wasn't surprised to see how beautifully she notated exactly the way she wanted me to play it. But then I discovered that was her sister, Nadia Boulanger. So there it is. Lily, whose birth name was Marie Juliette, was born in 1893 in France to a very musical family. Both parents were composers and performers. She often accompanied her sister, that was the famous one, to the Paris Conservatory. Lily sang and played the piano, violin, cello, and harp. Hello. I was very sad to read that she had pneumonia from age 6 to 16. And then she dies of tuberculosis at age 24. Oh, I'm very honored to give her piece a second chance. I could just leave that right there. before. I mean, before I knew all that sad part about her, I thought, this piece is weird. Do you know my former teacher had a sign up on his wall that said, "Wagner's music is better than it sounds." So I think Lily's piece is better than it sounds. No offense, Lily. Okay, the Enneagram. Nika made 9 portraits for this concert that was in the chapel, if you remember. As you may know, I am an Enneagram fanatic. I find it fascinating. If you're unfamiliar with the term, it's the study of personality types and motivations and behaviors. It has helped me to better understand not only myself, but other people that are in my life. And we talk about it Wednesdays at noon here at the church. In case you're interested, join us. So this dance by MaryLou is another very strange piece. But see, if I'd have told you this, you wouldn't be here, right? If I told you how weird the music was, when you would go, okay, well, I'll see you next year. It's only 2 minutes of weirdness. But I love MaryLou. Since it's unique, I'm thinking that it's Enneagram 4, like me. But MaryLou was born in France in 1892, 1 year before Lily. He studied at the Paris Conservatory. I wonder if they knew each other. He started as a violinist, but turned to composition. He lived to 81, having written over 400 works. And interesting fact was that Dave Brubeck was one of his students. I didn't know that. I let this piece go because it was too difficult and strange. So see if you like it. Bogo is a dance, but I wonder how you. Can we dance in here? Yeah, it's not Baptist. Okay. Variations, yes. That was 2018. Okay. Ethel is amazing. She reminds me of Shonda Rhimes. Do you know who that is, the producer? You can never guess how one of her TV shows is going to go and how it's going to end. She keeps you guessing. Ethel keeps me guessing harmonically. So I never know where she's going to land. And also, she's challenging. Dame Ethel Mary Smith was an English composer and a member of the women's suffrage movement. She was born in 1858 and died in 1944. She was the first woman composer granted damehood. So she was the fourth of 8 children, was a child prodigy, being a stellar pianist, and composed her first hymn at age 10. And later she wrote a hymn called The March of the Women, and it became the anthem of the suffragette movement in England. She was even imprisoned for her views against patriarchy. She's credited with teaching the leader of the suffragettes how to throw rocks. I think that had something to do with her prisonhood. I'm thinking she sadly became completely deaf in her 50s, but she lived to 81. I'm now a big fan of hers. Here is that fascinating, though very difficult piece written in 6 sharps. And then I went through and counted up 8 double sharps and countless natural signs. So I have no idea what key I'm in whenever I'm in. So I've never played it perfectly all the way through. So here's another chance. mistakes is all. Yay. Okay, where are we? Okay, moving right along. You're going to be out early. I'm so glad. Always leave a morning mark. Our mama taught us that. Okay. Dance. That one on the top is my favorite. It's a very large painting. I love them both. Just beautiful. Yeah. The skirt is three-dimensional. You know, it's tacked on, so you got to see it. I keep it right by the front door so that everybody that comes over gets to see it. And even delivery people. Come here, look at this. My sister did this. I love you, Nika. I'm so proud of you. Okay, I love Debussy and I love dance. Since my birthday was in October, instead of starting the first grade, Mama put me in piano and dance lessons. She would drop me off for piano lesson at Mrs. Wurzbach's house on Fresno, and then I would walk down the street to Doris Assaley's studio alone. Can you imagine doing that? 6 years old. Okay. I took tap and ballet, but I like tap best. Y'all know that about me. When we moved to Alamo Heights in the 3rd grade, I didn't continue with those lessons of dance, but I got a second chance a few years ago when I discovered Barbara's Third Coast Video dance studio just 5 minutes away from my house. I loved it, but she died a couple of years ago, and that was the end of that. And now about Debussy. Wait. Yet another French composer born in 1862. He was admitted into the Paris Conservatory at age 10. They'll take anybody. He studied there for 11 years. He was a mediocre student and, quote, apt to skip classes, according to Wikipedia. He came from a poor family, but at age 17, he got a good summer job where he rapidly acquired a taste for luxury that was to remain with him all his life. He had kind of a wild life. He died at age 56 of cancer, and I'm not making a connection there for wildlife and cancer, but he is known in music history as an impressionist composer, but I read that he strongly objected to that term for music or any other musician. I guess he felt that it was only appropriate for art works. Where was I? I'm going to play this dance of his that has a tempo marking of allegretto, which is defined as slower than allegro, okay? Because I'm saying this to all of you who have heard recordings of it that go at a much faster clip. But it's marked allegro, y'all. So I'm not going to go that fast. And besides, I can't. Okay, so another observation about this piece is that every phrase is repeated. Now, normally I would play each repeat differently, softer or louder, or staccato or legato, but it didn't seem to apply here. So that was kind of a weird thing for me. And then I saw on Wikipedia some connection to his composing with mathematics. I didn't pursue that thought because I'm allergic to math. Yes. Okay, Johannes Brahms. Oh, this is from the concert, The Four Bs. Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, and Beatles. 2016. Okay, I read a wonderful book recently, Undiluted, The Radical Message of Jesus by Benjamin Corey. I very much recommend that book. I was convinced regarding the call for all of us to reconciliation. It is a dire need of our age. I almost took all the negative posts off of Facebook. I was that convinced. I feel that reconciliation is all about giving folks a second chance, or a 49th chance, 7 times 7. Now I'm reading another amazing book on theology, my favorite subject, by James Danaher. Have you heard of him? I hadn't either. Titled Contemplative Prayer, A Theology for the 21st Century. He argues that we are called to fall in love with God. And just like when we fall in love, it's all about giving attention, to undivided attention to the one that you love. This is loving God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your mind. And of course, we humans are distracted by squirrel, by everything. And so we need to be in a constant state of repentance, turning. You know, that's what that word means. Turning back to God. Hence, we are always in a state of receiving constant forgiveness and mercy so that we are more likely to give it to our fellow creatures. It made a lot of sense to me. I am enjoying that book. As I was practicing this piece by Brahms, I discovered it is a wonderful metaphor for how to get along with folks. The middle section is repeated. The first time, the top voice is dominant, like you sopranos. Just kidding. Which is usually the case. On the repeat, my wonderful teacher at SAC, Bob Weaver, can I get an amen, B? Bob Weaver, where am I, Bob Weaver? There, taught me to bring out the middle voice. This requires that the higher voice back off. What a concept. So that they could be heard, listening. Oh, what follows is a beautiful, peaceful section where all the voices are equal and quiet and in heavenly harmony. Then the next section begins with the middle voice in the lead. And then the two voices sing together. One other point I'd like to make about this piece is that Mr. Weaver also continually told me, bring out the bass line, bring out the bass line, listen to the bass, hear the bass? And so that was drilled into my psyche, and I would be a bass player if I weren't a piano player. But Brahms always had a great bass line, and I think it was because his father played double bass in the symphony. Doesn't that make sense? I wonder if while I'm playing this piece, someone might come to mind that you might want to give a second or 49th chance. Okay. Now, this is the first concert, the 2015 of Mama. Look at that painting that Nika did of Mama. I know many of you knew her, and what a woman. 95 when she died, and she would have gone on to 100, I swear, easily. She would say, I can touch my toes, want to see? Boom. Mary June Worthland Sistrunk. She lived very well to age 95. I'm so lucky to have her as a model of how to live. She also was a visual artist, and she played piano. I'm not sure how old I was when this happened, but one time I played this piece that she always played, and it was like I was making fun of her. Or I was just playing, I don't know what my intention was, but she never played piano again after that. So you can imagine how devastated I felt, but I and continue to feel, but I have forgiven myself. And anyway, there had to have been more to it than just that, me doing that. Must have been something. That's what Nika said to help me. That wouldn't have made her never play piano again. Anyway, this time I have going to play that piece of music for you. I don't know who wrote it. Maybe Mama wrote it. But I have nothing but love in my heart as I play it. And I love you, Mama. And yeah, here's how. Okay, now for tradition and for Daryl. I changed to Haunted Harmony. Good one, Nika. Okay, I always finish my concerts with this piece. I will repeat the invitation for all of you to come up to the choir loft if you want to watch, see closer up to the organ. And if you do, go this way, go on this side, if you want to do that. And I truly appreciate every one of you being here today. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I thank wonderful production team, Rick Alvarez, and Nika's husband and son, Bruce and Spencer, are in the. Did you know we have a production booth back there and in the other usher's room? And they are helping with making all this happen. So let's finish off with a little bit of Bach. How about that? Bye.